Hi, here's a quick video on how to create a sub account for different agents for @Realty. Once you click into Manage Account or Account Management from the main page, just click into Manage Sub Accounts, click the plus icon, and then begin to type in the user ID and passwords, again, as prompted. Typically what you're going to want to do is just use the person's Salesforce user ID and password. As we've discussed, it's going to be a single sign-on, so they shouldn't be having to authenticate into MakeSbridge. But in the early goings, as we're getting through the single sign-on, they need to have that information. The other thing you're going to want to do is make sure you click for Application Subscription, Bridge Mail System, and Sales Automation Module. The sender name, from email, and reply to. So the sender name is typically the person's name. From email and reply to are pretty self-explanatory. You don't need to put the URL in, and you don't need to worry about this for right now. So this should be enough information to get you all set up to provision MakeSbridge sub-accounts to the agents. So what we're going to do now is turn our attention to setting up a sync job. So I'm going to go into my own account and we'll do it there. Okay, so I've hopped into my MakeSbridge account. Now, when the agent has an account and you want to set up the syncing with Salesforce, from the main page, you're going to click Connect with Apps and click Salesforce, and then click Setup. So there, all you need to do is just enter their user ID and password for the account. Click Test and then Save, and then that'll create the connection. So then from there, there's actually another setting that you can do. You see in the management here is we'll go out and see all the different Salesforce fields that you have, and you can just add them to include them in the import, and then we have that for contacts as well. Okay, and then you click Save Mapping. Typically people import everything, but you'd want to consult with JJ and those guys to see what they want to have. So when the setup's all done, again, once you do the user ID and password, you click Test and we'll give you a sign saying it worked. Then go to My Imports and click Add Import, and you can just say all records you choose a list, or you can create a new one. So you're going to want to create a new one most likely, because we're not going to have one, and you could call it, Agent X username, master list. So what we typically like to do or recommend to people is pour everybody into like a master list, so you're getting all the leads and contacts or records that they need at least into one list, and then set up peering for that. So I've got Agent X master list. I clicked Add, then I go Next. Then we've got all leads and contacts. So you see we have this import all function. And then we hit Next. So you'll see the number of leads and contacts that you have, and then you can schedule a recurring import. So this is where you just make a decision if you want to do a wholesale import every single day. This is a bit redundant to the peering that we have going on, so you may not need it. It's kind of a preference choice thing that you can do. But to be conservative, you could just have it go run every single day and then just hit save. One little gotcha is we are on Pacific time zone, so we don't have the server time set up for local, okay? So you can click save, and then the import will show up in your scheduled imports. Now, the final thing is you'll notice I've got the peering running. So for peering, all you're doing is just turning it on. And what we're doing is every 30 minutes, we're going to go out and we're going to look to see any new or updated records that you have in the Salesforce account or the agent has, and we're going to bring them in. So that concludes the video on how to set up the agent accounts, and then also how to get them set up in Salesforce to do all of the imports.